Welcome back to the workshop, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. Walter at the workbench. Yesterday, while I was planing this board and discussing about creating additional workbench surface, if you need something longer than your workbench or wider, it came to me that perhaps we need to address something in regards to sight and sound. Okay, first up, sight. We all know that if we have a straight edge, we can take that straight edge and put it down on a piece of wood, and we can find out if that wood has any high or low spots. We can do it lengthwise. We can do it cross grain. We can even go diagonally and find out if there's any high or low spots. Okay? So that's sight. We can also make a pair of winding sticks. That's basically two sticks, sometimes of opposing color, or sometimes people will put markers of a different color up in the top edges here. But it can be as simple as taking two boards exactly the same and taking some Sharpie marker and put it up on the light one. Okay. How do winding sticks work? Very simple. You place one winding stick down here. If your board is straight and true, we start there. Then if it's straight and true back at some distance, you now look. You need to bring your eyes all the way down to the winding sticks. And you look in this direction. You look that way, you look that way. And when the tips of all four corners disappear within one another, then that plane, that geometric plane, is flat. So then you can go further back and further back until you're at the end. That is how winding sticks are used. Now what happens is, and I'm going to exaggerate it, if you have winding sticks and one is off and you have a high spot, you have a tip over here that's sticking up, that doesn't mean that just the wood under this one needs to be worked. It could mean the wood under this one needs to be worked. So if you see that when you look down winding sticks, you're out by 1/8 of an inch, then what you really need is a 1/16 off of each corner. So you work that, you retest, you work it, retest. Once you know that your work surface is flat, straight, true, and we can only measure to about 1.5 thousandths of an inch with the thin metal feeler gauges. So you could go anywhere along here if there's a gap and see if the feeler gauge goes under. If it doesn't, you can call it good. If you want to take it even further, you can get some cigarette paper, which is under 1/1000th of an inch. So that's the sight portion. So I'll do that once before I use a surface. I don't do it every time I use a surface, but I'll do it now, and then unless the humidity changes a lot, I'll leave it alone for a long time. Most of you have seen when I'm planing, I'll flip the board over and check the corners. Check the middle. I'm looking to hear how this board is mating with this surface. So, tap, tap, tap. A little tiny bit of air there. Nothing there. A little bit there. Nothing there. So, I would consider this pretty well done. If I pivot it, I got a little bit of a pivot there and not much down over here. It's kind of fighting between here and the end. So this would be considered flat enough. If you're making something that has to be precision flat, you just keep following these procedures until you get it to rocket science precision. The other sound you can listen for is when you drop the board, do you hear a cushion of air? Okay? And when you lift the board, do you feel a slight popping? I do. You can't pick it up on camera more than likely. So that's the sound portion of it. So you have sight and you have sound. And you can rely on that from now until kingdom come, because the reality is when you're planing a board for a project, there are times where you want a slight hollow. We're talking a couple thousandths of an inch, because this may be a shelf. And if you make this shelf perfectly flat and perfectly straight, I guarantee you, you stand across the room, it will not look flat and straight. And I forget where it is. I think you dish out your top a little bit to make it look straighter. But I digress. So that's about it for today, everybody. Winding sticks, sight. Once you have your bench flat, tap, 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 tap. Hear that? Solid, no air. A little bit in that corner, but I'm probably going to cut part of this off. Nothing under there, nothing under there. That's it. So I hope this was useful to somebody. Helpful. Maybe entertaining. I hope you liked it. Give it the old thumbs up if you did. And don't forget to subscribe. Where? Over there. But most importantly, head out to your shop. Go make some shavings. Walter out.